All right, this video is on weird exponents. What I mean by weird are when we have fractions in the exponents and we have negatives in the exponents. I think at this point we're probably all pretty comfortable with exponents like 5s and 2s and that kind of stuff, but these are the hard ones. So our purpose is that eventually we're going to be able to rewrite both of these in a different way that makes like a little bit more sense to us. All right, so let's look at a couple examples. The first one, the exponent is 1/3. The second one is x to the negative 2. The weird stuff that's going on here is, in this one, the 3, and in this other one, the weird thing is the negative sign. So that's the weird stuff that we need to be considering here. The 1 on the top is not weird. I mean, a number on the top is not weird at all. In the other one, the 2 is not weird. The weird part is the negative sign. That's what we're going to take care of. So just to kind of tell you how this works, the first one, whenever you see a fraction in an exponent, to me that means a root. And I think that's the way you should think about it as well, because it's a little bit easier. In this case, it's a third root. And the reason why I knew it was a third root was because of that weird number on the bottom of the fraction. So this one can be rewritten as the cube root of x. The x stays the same. You could even put a 1 right here because of the number on top, but the weird thing is the number 3 on the bottom. What that means to you, hopefully, is that it's a third root. This other one, the x, there's nothing weird about that. The squared, there's nothing weird about that. The weird thing is the negative sign. Now you're looking at that and hopefully you're thinking, well, you haven't done anything with it yet. No, I haven't. Here's what a negative exponent means. It means flip it over. So all I have to do is just do 1 over x squared. It's kind of missing. So that's just 1 over x squared. All right, let's look at a couple more. They're a little bit more complicated, but not too bad. So the weird thing in this first one is the 3 on the bottom. The weird one in this one is a negative sign. These are two totally different problems. They mean totally different things. In this one, you should look at the 3 and think root. In this one, you should look at the negative and think flip. All right, so the first one, what kind of a root is it? Yes, it's a third root. Because the number is 3 on the bottom, that's how we know that it's a third root. What goes on the inside? Yeah, what's left? We've already taken care of the divided by 3. That part is the third root, so the x squared goes on the inside. And that's it. That's the best way to rewrite it. I think that's the best way because this makes sense to me. I mean, whatever number is x, I square it and then take the third root of the cube root. This is kind of confusing. Like, I can type that in my calculator really easily, but the top version is confusing. All right, the next one, 3 to the 4th. That happens to be 81. You could write 81 if you want. But what does that negative sign do to this? It flips it over, so instead of being 3 to the 4th, it's
1 over 3 to the 4th.
Yeah, 1 over 3 to the 4th. So negative exponent, exactly the same as normal, except that means you flip it over. Wherever it's at, you put it in the opposite place. All right, so what I'd like you to do is to practice these on your own, just to see whether you've got them. We'll go over them in a second here, but practice these on your own. So then we're going to go ahead and see how you did, see if you know what you're doing yet. So the first one is a root. Hopefully when you see that fraction and exponent, you start thinking, okay, this is going to have a root in it of some sort. So you can just start right away by drawing a root. Sorry. Love the smartphone software. Just works all the time. That's sarcasm. All right, so what kind of a root is this? It's a 5th root. Because of the number on the bottom is a 5, it's a 5th root. And then you just write what's left, basically. The x cubed doesn't change at all. That's nothing confusing. It's divided by 5 that's weird. All right, now I'm going to try to trick you. So I say this so that you don't say the wrong thing and be recorded. What kind of a root is this? Complete silence. Because not a root. Yeah, these are two totally different types of problems. When there's a fraction in the exponent, it's a root. The second one, 2 to the negative 3, that is not a root. That has nothing to do with roots. No, I'm going to actually write this right. It's been messy every single time. This is the same thing as 2 cubed. It's the exact same thing, but what does the negative sign in the exponent do? It flips it, so instead of being 2 cubed, it's 1 divided by 2 cubed. If you want to write 1 over 8, that's fine too, but you don't have to do that. All right, 8 to the 2/3. What type of a root is that? Yep, a third root. So it's the third root or the cube root of 8 squared. That's what the rest of it is. All right, I'm doing it again. What kind of a root is x to the negative 3?
It's not a root.
Nice. It's not a root. It doesn't have anything to do with the roots. So this is the same thing as x cubed, except for, because the negative sign flips, so 1 over x cubed. All right, so my hope is you can do problems like this and you're ready to retake the quiz. That's what I'm hoping.